Welcome back, folks. This is Biz Talk. We're happy that you're here and we're excited that we are back. We've got another amazing subject matter expert in her field, and she is well known around town, and she is definitely an expert when it comes to many things, tax and books for the business and all of that good stuff. Noura, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Hi, Rick. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here once again. You know, there was many talks, many questions that came up after last week's show, and people want to know more. People want to know more about Noura's books. You know, what do you guys stand for? What is your mission? What is your vision for Noura's books? So please feel free to elaborate a little bit more on that as to what you guys stand for, and give us your mission and your vision for your business.
Sure. So basically, Noura's Books is tax and accounting firm. We do service nonprofits and small business owners, basically to facilitate the growth of financial growth for nonprofits and business. We want to create the impact and the leadership, and actually enable leaders to create the impact through their projects. And I like to think about a nonprofit as business as well. So whenever I say business, I mean nonprofit as well, because both entities, whether it's for profit or for non for profit, they both technically needs a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually help business owners and nonprofit leaders to actually um, grow their business through paying attention to their financials, looking at numbers, making sure everything makes sense, making sure that they know where they want to go. So we help them through that. We want to make sure they have confidence and their leadership. They elaborate on what they want to do with their clients, their donors. So we help them, we actually hold their hands to make sure they actually reach their goal and while staying in compliance at the same time.
I think we can all agree that what gets measured gets done, right? And that's the reason why
Yep.
keeping an emphasis on the numbers, making sure that everyone is on the same page when it comes to where we are in business in terms of the numbers for the business, because that's the only true way of seeing the health of the business, whether it's a for-profit or a nonprofit, as Noura mentioned. Great stuff, Noura. We appreciate you elaborating a little bit more on that. Let's talk a little bit more about the fractional CFO services that you offer for businesses. Tell us more about that. I'm actually interested myself in knowing more about this service.
Sure. So a lot of people know about bookkeeping. So, and they think like let's go to a bookkeeper, let's get an accountant. But when they hire someone as a bookkeeper or an accountant, they think they will get all the service. They will look at the number. They will know like where do they go. They monitor their cash flow. They get the advice. In fact, no. In order to get all of these services, you need to actually go another level where you can get CFO services, which is stands for the Chief Financial Officer. So usually in big companies, you would see the CEO hand on hand with the CFO, with the Chief Financial Officer. So they both have to be planning everything together and go together. Now, for a small business to hire a CFO, it's going to cost a lot of money because a good CFO can cost you more than 250K a year, which is a lot of money for a small business owner. And this is just the start point. So, in order to actually have the same benefit, this is a rising career. Like when you have a CFO, which some people call it fractional CFO, some people call it just CFO service, some people call it part-time CFO, whatever like you want to call it. It's actually a high level accounting service where it's not only bookkeeping, it can be with or without, depends. So some people have a different a bookkeeper and then the CFO, it depends. But literally, like you would have someone to look at the report, to look at the numbers, make sure you are reaching your goal, make sure they manage your cash flow, Sometimes like we have a compliance component, which I always recommend for our clients. So in at Noura's books, we have 3 levels of CFO services, and where you also can adjust it. We can customize it for your needs based on your business. We measure KPIs. We make sure you are achieving your goal. Recommend things that you need to change at your business. Make sure your cash flow is perfect for your business. Make sure that you see the growth you need to see. This is when it's called now CFO service, because it's no longer just after fact, it's before facts. You actually impact the after fact reports by planning.
Right. So it's basically like having, I think I heard you mention, a high level financial service provider in your company that is not necessarily on board, where it's well over a 6-figure payroll for the company, but they get the benefits of having that high level financial eyes on the business numbers so that they can continue to drive forward. So amazing. Thank you for joining. Thank you for mentioning that, Nora. One of the other things that we also talked about here in the last couple of days that we wanted to know more about is that you have a mastermind that it's basically an initiative. I think it's called a 7-figure fundraising mastermind. Let's talk about that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this is my signature program for nonprofits. It's called Noura's seven-figure nonprofit mastermind. Basically, people have to apply to join my mastermind because we want to make sure actually they are a good fit. So basically, like if someone goes to the website, they can actually apply, fill on information, and book a call with me where we can actually talk and see if the mastermind's gonna benefit the person or not, the nonprofit. It's actually helping you building the capacity of the organization, building the donor base for the organization, because if you do not have a donor base, you're not going to be able to even get grants. You're not going to be able to financially sustain the organization. So you have to be able to manage the donor base in order to actually sustain the organization. So in the mastermind, I teach my impact method exactly to people so they can actually have a framework to grow the organization, to build the capacity of the organization, to have a strong donor base where they can have recurring donors for the organization and be ready by the end of the mastermind to actually start acquiring grants. Because a lot of people, they think they can start the nonprofit now, apply for exempt status, and then after that, they can go ahead and apply for grants. And a lot of people do that and waste money and time doing that. This rarely work, actually. You need to have proof that you can raise money yourself. You have the capacity to manage the money. That's why you need to build the capacity of the organization to get significant grant. Otherwise, you'll be wasting your money and time. A lot of grant writer will take you and they will just write you the grants because either they won't have experience yet and they don't know what it's going to take for you to get the grant, or well, they just tell you what you would like to hear. A lot of other grant writers, they won't even do it. They will help you build the capacity. And unfortunately, a lot of nonprofits, they don't want to even go through that. But like no one I know of that teach you how to actually get the donor base in order to help you grow the capacity. Because you need to have money to build, to actually hire the grant writer, to hire an accountant, to hire people who can help you build the capacity of the business. But in my mastermind, I help you do all of that. We offer financing, we offer payments plan for people who cannot put it um, upfront. But this is going to be the best investment you will do for your nonprofit if you really want to succeed without exhausting your resources of time and money.
Fantastic. So I knew that there had to have been something within the 7-figure fundraising mastermind that we were just not all aware. So going through your website and reading your website, amazing content on the website, but there's nothing like having a conversation about it and having you, go over every single topic within that mastermind. So thank you for sharing. So there is something else on the website that I'm actually very curious about myself, because there is something that you do speaking events, I believe. You have content where you go to different events and you do speaking events. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. So, in speaking events, like, of course, I do have my YouTube and everything, but I'm available to be booked for speaking. I have three signature topics I love talking about, which is building a successful business, women leadership, and impactful nonprofit organization. I like to speak about these three topics, and I'm available to be actually doing speaking on stages or actually doing workshops. So I can help people with any of these three areas.
Awesome, Nora. Thank you so much for all of this education, valuable education, and great content. We definitely do appreciate you being here once again on Biz Talks. It's always a great time getting to learn more from you, and thank you for coming. So that's it, folks. We don't have any more time, so we are out for this week, but we are excited for the next week's show. Please stay tuned, and until then, take care of each other.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.